We are now, thank God, just a couple weeks away from the 2024 presidential election, and hopefully on the evening of November 5th, we have clear results. We know who the winner is going to be. Yeah, Trump's going to piss and moan if it's not him for a long time, but it'll be over. But before we get to that point, we still got a couple weeks to go. And it turns out, according to new reports, Donald Trump is having a very, very big money problem. In fact, it's a money problem that's been going on for him not just in the last month or two, but ever since he announced in November of 2022 that he was running for president again. And those money problems are that he's not getting any money from small dollar donors because they're sick of him. Here's what the report from the Associated Press and Open Secret says. Fewer than a third of Trump's campaign contributions have come from donors who gave less than $200, which is considered a small dollar donor. This is a drop from his 2020 campaign when this group of donors made up almost half of all donations. Not only has the number of donors in the group declined, but so has the total amount of donations collected, according to the analysis. The former president raised $98 million from such donations through June, which is a 40% decrease from the $165 million small dollar donors contributed during a corresponding period in the 2020 race. Harris, on the other hand, has seen her small dollar donations increase dramatically, almost half. So the average people, right, the real voters, those are who the small dollar donors are. They've abandoned Donald Trump. And for the last 2 months, by the way, September and October, his campaign has spent more than they have brought in, which of course has left experts scratching their heads because they don't know where the money's going, because he doesn't have a ground game in any of the swing states. So he's obviously not paying staffers, he's not opening up offices, he's not even really running ads. So where the hell is the money going? I'm sure that's an answer we may never get, and if we do, it'll be months after the election. But that's a legitimate concern. Where the hell's the money going? But before we can even get to that point, of course, we have to deal with the now. So the question now is, where have all the small dollar donors gone? Well, I'm willing to bet some of them, unfortunately, COVID. That is a sad fact that I feel no joy bringing it up, but it has to be said. The studies have shown more Republicans died from COVID than Democrats did. Republicans were far less likely to wear masks, to socially distance, to get vaccines. So yes, the death rate among Republicans from COVID was higher than that for the Democrats. So that could be where a lot of these small dollar donors went. They're not giving money because they're busy being dead. But that doesn't explain the whole drop, right? That's probably a tiny fraction, if any, right? I don't know for sure. But here's what a few of these former small dollar donors had to say to the paper. One of them is a Floridian named Susan Brito who said, "I'm sick of them asking for money." And she gave dozens of small dollar donations in 2022 and 2023, but she hasn't donated this year, saying, again, "I'm sick of them asking for money. I'm disabled. You're sending me text after text after text." So she's got fatigue. She's like, "I'm sick of y'all trying to bleed me dry." Another one, Doug Deacon, the Republican Party chair in Wayne County, Ohio, told the Associated Press that, quote, "People get annoyed by the text messages and the direct mail and the emails. It's annoying. It annoys me." So that's a Republican Party chair from Ohio. He's like, "Look, I'm sick of it too. I don't like it. They're constantly begging." Stephen Buckhalter, a 78-year-old retiree from the insurance industry, donated in 2022 and 2023, but he stopped this year, citing the cost of living going up. So he's like, "Hey, my financial situation has changed. I can't give any more," but he does say that he still plans to vote for him. But these few people aside, because I think all of these people obviously support Donald Trump, some of these small dollar donors may have also disappeared because they no longer believe in it. right? They're sick of it. Like, oh my God, this guy is running again. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of him. I'm not giving money, and I'm going to stay home on November 5th. Or I'm going to leave that part of the ballot blank because I'm not going to vote for a Democrat. But oh my God, this guy is also a disaster. So there's lots of different possibilities out there. It could be the fatigue, it's the lack of enthusiasm, it could be COVID. But I think honestly, it's really just a combination of all of these things. Trump's supporters simply don't have it in them anymore, one way or another. And that could spell disaster for him on November 5th.